And first of all, there's obviously like drama. There's obviously like a lot of kind of strong emotions. There's obviously like a lot of accusations and general discontent flying around the internet at the moment with concerns Taliesin, Evertel, and Asmongold. And keep the music on so people can't monetize this on YouTube. There will be music, but it won't be right now. So, was it Thursday? We were on a stream, much like this, much less viewers than this, because there had been no drama at that stage. And we were talking about many things. And the topic of conversation moved to large creators, as in, like, you know, popular, not just big, although they can sometimes be the same thing. And their audiences, and the responsibility...
Maurice?
Or not.
I just wanted to hear him say Morris. Sorry to interrupt.
The responsibility or not that those creators have with regards to their audience. Because I think it's not only, like, an interesting subject, but I think it's increasingly, as we shall see, an important subject. Now, we talked about it on stream, and the stream got quite heated, because I'm a terrible streamer. And I got totally baited into... Oh, that's a really common comment, actually, over this weekend. I think it's people who think they're being clever. But we'll see all that, don't worry. And I got totally baited into arguing with my chat. People say my viewers, but I mean, there were a couple of people in the chat who were trolls and just trying to cause some trouble, and that should not be a problem for any streamer.
Purple 500 bonus 50.
But it was a problem for me because I'm not a very good streamer. If you were in that stream, you know they were trolls. Just click the notification tab in OBS. I don't use OBS.
I believe when you're saying that you got all sort of threats, but to be the devil's advocate, if I were Asmon, I wouldn't take the word of a man and his wife as verifiable proof either. Okay, but that's because you're a twat. I'm going to turn off the alert box for a little bit. And that's just because you're a fucking twat, if that's what you think. If that's what you're saying, sorry, but I'm going to err on the side of you being a fucking twat. That's toxic, laugh my... No. What, you think that someone not believing you when you say that there is... like, that you're getting death and rape threats, you think someone automatically not believing you is not being a twat? I'm going to disagree. I'm going to say you're a twat. I don't think that's toxic. I think that's what most human beings would feel in basically any situation. That's what I think. Anyway, now, trolls in a chat shouldn't be a problem, okay? Anyone can deal with a troll in chat, but I was speaking about something which I'd kind of like wanted to speak about for a while and thought about for a while. And I was formulating my thoughts. Now, first of all, before I get into like all of that, later on, that VOD from our stream, which had about 1,000 viewers at the time, was ripped from its mother's womb, untimely ripped, and placed on the internet by one of those channels that like rips Asmongold streams and puts them on the internet. Now, I thought we were safe from that kind of shit until he reacted to us. I thought then, you know, if anyone ever reacted to, like, because the way it's always worked to us before, we make a YouTube video, he'll react to it, then someone will rip that VOD of him and put it online. Foolishly, naively, I thought that meant that this stream was what it had always been before, a place with some cool people chatting and working through thoughts, because this is how... No, I'll get to that in a second. And then, once that video was online, and bear in mind, like, Asmon before that point didn't even know that I'd been talking about him on stream, because why or how would he? Who gives a fuck?
And then he reacted to the video of the stream and was justifiably upset about some of the things I said. And more important than that, justifiably critical of some of the accusations that he felt I leveled at him. And even more important than that, lots of people who watch our YouTube and occasionally our streams saw me getting angry later on with the trolls in the chat, which was stupid of me, and being a bit of a dick towards them. And they felt, shit, Tally looks like a bit of a dick. And, I mean, I am a bit of a dick, and there's nothing I can really do about that. But to those people, more than anyone, and I owe like a form of apology to Asmongold as well, but to those people more than anyone, I apologize. Because to see it out of context like that, and you'll argue that it wasn't out of context, but give me a moment. To see it out of context like that, it looked like I was being really shitty to my viewers and my chat. Whereas I think most people who were there, so Ollie Mark, were you there, I wonder? Because I think most people who were there would agree. Okay, so Ollie Mark doesn't agree. Okay, cool. But I think a lot of people that were there would agree that there were a couple of like really annoying trolls in the chat who were derailing the conversation, and it's one of the reasons we talked about Asmongold so much, and I didn't deal with them very well. We've only had mods on this channel since today. I'm a terrible Twitch streamer, and I fucked that up, and I appeared like a complete dick, because I was a bit of a dick. It's not the first time I've been a bit of a dick. It probably won't be the last. So to the people that kind of saw that on the video and thought, oh, holy fuck, damn, shit, I kind of like Taliesin, and now I feel like a prick for having liked him. I'm sorry. To those people, I'm really sorry. And to Asmongold, who took what I said personally, because it often appeared very personal, and I will hopefully try and formulate what I wanted to say better now. I'm sorry. Genuinely and sincerely. I want to talk about it more because I think there are things about Asmongold's reaction and about the general reaction to it in general, too much general, that are misleading and sometimes flat out wrong, and I think it would benefit everyone to know what we were actually talking about in this stream. So first of all, I feel like I've put together a little video that I'm going to kind of react to, because one thing I definitely don't want to do, and this is like really important because this is something we don't do on this channel, is we don't react to other people's videos on this channel. It's not what I can. And this is no slight on Asmongold, but it's not what I consider to be valid content on a stream. Like, we work really hard to make our videos and we put them out, and that is that type of content. And I don't believe that watching other people's like content on stream is valid content. Personally, that's not shade. It's just what I choose not to do. Okay? Good. This time, we're going to make an exception. I've put together like a little a cut. Basically, this is just so I don't have to go skipping through like the VODs and streams and things like that. I accidentally put it in my Eternal Palace folder. Here we go. So, being articulate and being wrong about something aren't the same. Don't know what that's supposed to mean, sorry. Oh, and actually, yeah, so people are saying, like, would you like this to end up in a reaction video for Asmongold? And much as the idea of him reacting to me reacting to his reaction of my my stream fills me with existential terror and dread, one of the reasons that we haven't come out and said publicly to him in the last couple of days that we don't want him watching our videos anymore, because one of the common criticisms, fairly, that we've got online is people going, well, he said he would stop if you just ask him. Now, for one, I don't actually think that should be necessary, because it's quite clear we don't want him watching our videos at this stage. But fair enough. One of the reasons we haven't said that is because we'd like him to see this. Because I hope this will help explain the conversation that we were trying to have. The conversation that I was trying to have at the time. And the thing is, and I'm being a bit mischievous here with this first shot, okay? So you're going to have to forgive me. I'm being mischievous. These are just words on a screen. Just a little selection of some of the comments that we've got on our various social media. Because once Asmongold reacted to this shit went wild, okay? This, like, from the second he started watching, this shit started coming up in our social, like, all over the place. And it's like, you know, time to spam dislike on all your videos, lol, you're a liberal crazy person that just ruined their YouTube Twitch career by going after Asmongold, jump off a bridge, beat your wife, stop acting like a bitch moron, are you going to be streaming, or is your wife still being an insufferable cunt? Hit her, look, it's cuckboy again, listen here, soy boy, you go fuck yourself, I can't wait to see your incoming divorce in a couple of years. A real recurring theme with my wife here. Beta male, Taliesin is a dumb cunt. Clearly you have some mental disorder, keep out of the gaming world. This one is one that we shared. Don't look now, but your wife is being raped by Muslim migrants. Congrats on your diversity, you must be so happy, cuck. So, you know. Now, one thing I think it's important to point out is that those comments that I just read out aren't unusual. Okay? As has been pointed out by people, it's not unusual to receive comments like that when you are a fucking world famous streamer and YouTuber like we are. You get that kind of shit all the time. And you do, unfortunately, because I don't think you should have to, but you do build up a bit of a thick skin to it. And we do. And I'm not denying that at all. You do get that all the time. But we do also know whenever Asmon is watching us on our stream, because we'll get a whole fucking load more of them. And that, the things I've just shared to you there, that is, I'm not sure anyone would really deny blatant harassment. Now, there's another form that this took as well, which was comments on our YouTube videos. Now, of course, this wasn't our video. Okay? It was ripped from our stream and then posted up on many different Asmongold like centric channels. Which is what they do. That's fair. But I thought they always waited for Asmon to react to something before they did that. Which is why, foolishly, naively, stupidly, I thought we were safe to have a discussion and formulate thoughts without that being a thing. I was wrong. My bad. I'm a fucking idiot. So, having no video to actually post this on, obviously, our video got like dislike bombed, and you know, it was on like 300 dislikes. Now it's on 1.6k dislikes. We lost about 1,000 subs, probably more by now. And all the comments, as you'd imagine, you are not proving your point with those comments. We got a lot of people making, on the face of it, very reasonable arguments. Filling the comments of our video, saying how they're very disappointed with the stream and how, you know, they're unsubbing, and this is why, and this is why, and this is why, and giving these very good reasons. And I'm not going to fault them for that. I'm not going to fault them at all. Because, you know, fuck. I always say you don't need a reason to dislike a video game. I feel the same about creators. You don't need a reason to dislike a creator. You don't have to be correct to dislike a creator. You can not watch a creator just because you don't like their face or their voice. I'm sure that happens with us quite a lot. And you can certainly dislike a creator if you saw them being a dick on a stream and you don't like them anymore. And I think that's perfectly fair. This is harassment, but it has nothing to do with Asmongold. I disagree. I mean, because the comments I just showed you, whoops. Sorry. The comments I just showed you all happened within minutes or like an hour of the Asmongold stream. And whereas it's true we get comments like this all the time, it's noticeable, very noticeable, that when Asmon streams and reacts to one of our videos, it happens like probably about 500% more. Actually, what am I even fucking saying? 10,000% more, at least. I know. So, whatever. We're used to it. Because, Asmon has reacted to us before. So the thing I'm more concerned about, I was just putting those there to show, that they exist, because I know people don't think they do. The thing I'm much more concerned about is these good people, these genuine, some of them who are genuine people, not like the, I subbed to you for 6 months on Twitch, but I'm now so disappointed with you. So I'm sure there's some of that in there as well. But generally, these are good people giving very good reasons for being disappointed in me, the person. And that's the thing that upsets me most. The thing that upsets me most is that I kind of deserve it in many ways. It's fucking horrible to admit that. It's really fucking horrible. So, one thing I think I'd like you to understand about the conversation we were having is that it's not the kind of conversation that should have been picked apart critically. Okay? Because we make a video and we make an argument in our video, and it's a scripted, reasoned argument with like a start, a middle, and an end. It's structured rhetorically for like maximum nice listening effect. That's why it doesn't really work when Asmongold reacts to them, is because those kind of stop-start reactions that he does don't really match up very well with like videos that actually have a structure and in the argument. Because you'll say something like, oh, so Azrai Armor's great, isn't it? And he'll pause it and he'll go, no, it's not. No, it's not. Let me tell you why it's terrible. And he'll talk for about 5 minutes and then he'll press play again and I'll say, oh, and it's not really, and here's why. So it doesn't kind of fit that. And that is something that can legitimately be critically analysed. A free-form discussion on my Twitch that I thought would go no further, which was stupid of me, and I admit I am wrong for that, and I'm an idiot, and I deserve all the criticism I get for that. This was not that. This was me talking badly about a subject which I was trying to formulate my thoughts for. And if you're a regular viewer of this stream, and if you're a follower, then you're going to know that one of the things we do is I like to talk out weekly reset talking points a lot with my chat. And I'll say shit that really shouldn't be critically analysed because I'm throwing it out there for the chat to hear and to comment on, and to help me formulate my ideas. And I think the weekly reset is better as a result. And I think people in my chat would verify that. And that's what was happening here. Now, added to that, the fact that there were some trolls in there who, again, I should have been able to deal with, and I couldn't, derailing the conversation didn't help. And you can see that the conversation got fixated on Asmongold. But one very important thing to remember is it didn't start off as a conversation about Asmongold. It was a conversation that eventually took in quite a lot of creators. Because the conversation was about responsibility for creators and the size of their audience. That's literally how this started. And one of the problems I have with that video that ripped the VOD, apart from the fact that it's illegal and apart from the fact that it was done purely to cause drama for money, apart from that, one of the problems I have with that video is that it actually cut out a really, really important part at the beginning. And I would like to play you that quite important part at the beginning now. And you'll see why it is important in just a moment, I'm sure. Fairness. I think we kind of underestimate how popular Josh is. Can you hear that? And like how popular his streams are. So there's 1,000 people watching this stream right now. Thank you very much. Hello. And that's not very much, is it, in stream terms? Okay, I'm going to turn it up. Apparently it's quite quiet. Sorry, whoever is cutting this stream. and like to VOD. I'm sure that was very annoying for you, but you know, we're going to try and do it right. Oh shit, I don't know if I can actually do it any louder. I'm really sorry. I don't think I can actually turn it up any louder. You're just going to have to live with that, and you're just going to have to listen very, very hard. Okay? It's my own fault. I should have made the volume higher, but we're just going to have to listen harder. Or maybe I can. Okay, I'll talk quieter, but I'm going to turn the sound up a bit. That should help. Okay, let me know how this sounds.
How popular Josh is, and like how popular his streams are. So
how's that? Better. Maybe I can. That's probably about as far as I can push it. Sounds great. Fine for me. Okay, and it's okay with my voice. Thank you. Asmon will start talking a little bit, and it'll get louder. Sorry. So it actually started off as a conversation about Method Josh and his ban. As we'll hear, let's have a look.
Kind of underestimate how popular Josh is, and like how popular his streams are. So there's 1,000 people watching this stream right now. Thank you very much. Hello. And that's not very much, is it, in stream terms? You go, oh well, okay, 1,000 is pretty average for someone who is like half known on stream, on Twitch, and who's like more famous for doing YouTube and something else. But that puts me right now in the top 5% of people on Twitch. Viewer-wise, that puts me in the top 5% of Twitch. And Josh gets 5,000 viewers per stream. Like he's like top 2% or something like that. You know, he's like outrageously popular. And so he's going to get held to higher standards, and rightfully so. Usually how it's worked up until now is that people with more power have more responsibility and are held to higher standards. That's why when Asmongold with his like 30,000 viewers,
and that's where we came in. That's where Asmongold's video starts. The video that he's reacting to, that of course was ripped from my stream and put up online to cause drama specifically. So I did obviously. I obviously did. So yeah, no, that is it is a very misleading cutoff because A, it makes it look like the conversation was about Asmongold from the start, which it wasn't. B, there's another important detail in there which you might have already noticed that I'm going to sort of come back to later on, if you're clever like me, which is very important. So it started off as a conversation about Josh and his huge audience, and how it's not surprising that he got banned for what he did, because other people might not get banned for that, but because his audience is so huge, he is held to a much higher standard. And I gave the example that, and I don't actually know if this is true, but someone at Blizzard told me this. Because I have like 1,000 viewers on one of my on my stream, usually it's about 1,000 viewers. Obviously, for very obvious reasons, today it's different. That puts me in the top 5% of streamers. Thank you very much. Don't mind if I do. And then you think about people like, so if I'm in the top 5% with 1,000 viewers, Josh is like, who the fuck knows where he is? 5,000 viewers per stream. S-Fand, 8, 10, 15,000 viewers per stream. Who knows what fucking percentile he's in? Asmongold, 30,000, sometimes 70,000, sometimes 100,000 viewers. I mean, he is top point something of a percent. Like, and it's almost impossible to compare that. And that's important. We'll come back to that in just a moment. And now the reason I wanted to play you some of this is because I am sorry about the things that came out wrong, and we'll get to those things as well. But the things that I said that came out wrong, which Asmongold was clearly offended by, fairly, I think, because it wasn't meant to be heard by him. It was me supposed to be formulating my thoughts so I could say something properly and explain it properly later on. And also me getting annoyed with some trolls and acting like a dick, which I think we've established definitely happened. Sorry about that. But there's also some things in his reaction that I think Asmongold got very wrong, which need to be said. And I think some of them he got wrong and it wasn't his fault. And I think some of them he got wrong, and it was very much his fault. And I know that Asmongold cares about the truth, and I know that he would want to know the truth. So I want to show him the truth. Viewers. These are where I put little cuts.
Luckily, we're so small, there's pretty much no one we can punch down.
Now, this is silly, and I wouldn't have said it in a video if I was making a video on this subject. But there I say, we are very small, and there's no one we can punch down on. Now, that's obviously a joke. And if you remember what I said seconds ago, it's clearly a joke. I'm laughing at myself as I say it. I go on to contradict that. Definitely not a joke, laugh my ass off. But I go on to contradict it like loads of times afterwards. It wasn't a joke, don't do that. I mean, I did just literally play you the bit where I said that we're a really big channel. You'll react. Okay, fine.
What a bunch of bullshit. Well, let me look at this here. You have over 250,000 subscribers. Correct. Your channel is extremely popular. Like, yes. you have a massive channel. Everybody knows who you guys are. Like, and he gets over 1,000 viewers every time he streams.
More than that.
It's not like he has this really, really tiny stream and, you know, he's like fighting against the big guy. He's the big guy too. You've got one of the most popular YouTube channels for WoW. Period. Like, what do you mean? Oh, we're too small. No, you're not. Like, you put out videos, and you say you criticize things that I say in your videos.
I do.
I'm not crying about that.
So, Asmon's got a long history of not understanding the jokes on our videos when he reacts to them. This is not that. He does quite often misunderstand our jokes, but this is not that. He is not misunderstanding that joke. Because why would he misunderstand that joke? The video that he's just started watching didn't have the bit where I said,
that puts me, right now, in the top 5% of people on Twitch.
He didn't hear that. Because the guy that stole my fucking VOD and put it online specifically to make money and to cause drama, cut that bit. And it's really fucking important. Because I established myself as a big creator. Because being a big creator is actually the whole point of my fucking argument. It's really important that you know I'm a big creator. Because my entire thing that I'm talking about is, yeah, I'm in the top 5%. So people see me and Asmongold, and this happened loads in the fucking abuse we were getting on Twitter over the past weekend. People see us as peers. People see us as equals. But we're really not. I'm a huge creator. I'm in an incredibly privileged position. That's why I said,
that puts me, right now, in the top 5% of people on Twitch.
I'm in the top 5% of people in Twitch. I'm not claiming to be like a small creator. And Asmongold mentions this over and over again in his video. And it's not his fault. Because he missed that bit. It's the fault of whoever cut the VOD and uploaded it for money. It's not his fault. So of course he misunderstood the joke and thought I was saying that, yeah, we are a small creator. We're smaller than him by quite some way, as we're going to talk about in a little moment. But I am not claiming to be a small creator. I am not claiming to be like, you know, the little guy against the system. I'm not claiming to be that at all. And that is a criticism that is flat out 100% wrong. And I know Asmongold will want to know that because Asmongold cares about the truth. So the thing is, when Asmongold says that thing, which is wrong, on his stream, and it's not his fault he got it wrong, but it is wrong, a lot of these comments from good people saying, I just don't like you anymore, you've really disappointed me, a lot of them mention that. A lot of them say, oh, you know, you made out that you're a small streamer, and you're not. You're a huge channel. We've had people saying it in this chat today. And the reason they're saying that is because Asmon said it, and they think it's true. But as we've seen, it's not. It's just not true. You know, it's not true. And so I don't count these comments under this YouTube channel as harassment by any means. No. I never would. I've shown you the comments that I would class, or some of the comments that I would class as harassment. This isn't that. But this is something else. This is people coming from Asmon's stream, repeating an untruth which he has said, and it's not his fault, but it was untrue. And this is people repeating that. And it's wrong. And that's something that wasn't Asmon's fault. Here's something that was.
Viewer-wise, that puts me
let me
in the
repeat
top
this again,
5%
just to make it very
of
clear.
Twitch.
We'd
No,
like
he
to
didn't do it
thank all the
intentionally.
Asmongold viewers currently filling up our mentions and DMs, totally proving our point.
So then, I'm jumping back and forth because like I'm structuring this. Then, someone told him as he was live streaming that we had tweeted out that Asmongold followers were filling our DMs and mentions. Because that's what always happens whenever he starts streaming about this. It happens literally every time. And Asmongold, live on stream, which isn't irresponsible at all, decided to check this out for himself.
Okay. Let's find out.
So, hang on. Here he goes. He goes looking at the comments to see if he can find any comments
Let's
in our
find out.
mentions which are clearly from his fans. He scrolls past loads, which are clearly from his fans. Can't find any, though.
So let's look right here. Okay, so we have... One. So that's right. So we have one person. There's one person that said something rude.
And then a comment that we're seeing a lot in this
and
chat
that's
right
it. This
now.
is this is one person. Is that right? He said DMs. They don't have DMs open. It can't be in the DMs. But they don't have DMs open. So like I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, we don't have DMs open. Asmongold went there after we tweeted out that our DMs were getting filled with Asmongold fans. And as someone quite rightly pointed out in the chat here, and as we can see, some of the messages we've received, we don't have our DMs open after they start getting flooded with Asmongold fans. Because, I don't know, man. I don't know if you know how Twitch works. But you know you can disable your DMs. You know that when you start a Twitch account, you don't decide whether your DMs are going to be open or closed, and you are stuck there. You made your decision. That is set in stone. We like to have our DMs open, if we can. And generally, when we notice Asmongold supporters like getting in there because he's reacting to one of our things on stream, we know it's going to be a fucking shit show, and we close the fuck down. Do you know why? Because we get rape and death threats. So we close DMs. And for Asmongold to go on our fucking Twitter after we've tweeted that our DMs are getting full of Asmongold people giving us shit, to go on there and go, oh no, DMs are closed, is like genuinely intellectually dishonest. Because he is a logical man. Zach, as I said in this very VOD that he reacted to, Zach is a fucking smart guy. He's a smart guy. And there is no way that he wouldn't have thought to himself, maybe they just closed their DMs because it was getting full up. Maybe they just closed their DMs because they just tweeted that their DMs were getting full of people they didn't want there. There's no way he wouldn't have thought that. But he didn't say that. He didn't say, oh, maybe they just closed their DMs. He didn't want to believe us. He wanted to not believe us, which is also, by the way, what happens later when he doesn't believe us that we're getting harassed or getting horrible comments. Because he said on stream that he didn't believe us. We've had people in these comments saying, in fairness, you can't expect Asmongold to believe you if you don't show proof. He didn't believe us that we were getting DMs. You expect us to like give, like, he's not going to fucking believe a word we say. And this is a fact. He is wrong. He was wrong about that. And just like with his comment about me saying that we're a small creator, which was wrong, but not his fault, here we are getting lots of people repeating his words and getting it wrong. And again, a lot of these comments, legitimate, proper-minded, honest comments on our YouTube video, mention that as well. Exposed. Got him, boys. You don't message is a DM. Tweet to is a mention. You do not have DMs open. Stop being a bitter man. You're just lowering yourself to the level you claim Asmongold to be at. We just closed our DMs when people like you got in there. DMs not open. Exposed again, lol. We just closed our DMs. You don't have DMs open, though. We just closed our DMs. DMs aren't even open, though. Nice try. We just closed our DMs. This isn't possible considering your Twitter DMs are not open. We just closed our DMs. And maybe Asmon wasn't being dishonest about that. But he was being a bit stupid, wasn't he? Because no logical brain wouldn't think, oh, they just said they were getting like loads of comments in their DMs. Maybe they closed their DMs. How would anyone not think that? But he says the wrong thing, and boom, they appear here, and they appear here. And I'm willing to totally accept that him getting the small streamer thing wrong wasn't his fault. I feel like this one was.
Okay, like when he singles out certain developers or something for WoW, who make WoW, he's actually punching down. Okay?
When have I ever singled out a developer?
This one
if you
came up
say
quite a
thanks
lot.
for putting it...
This one came up quite a lot. Asmon says he's never singled out a developer. And again, this is a comment we got loads of in our legitimate comments, which was, you made baseless accusations against Asmon. For example, you said that he had never singled out Law, was the example we used, Devo Law. And yeah, we did say that. We did say that. I'm not. I love how I love how this orange name guy. Where is he? He every time I say something, he thinks he's owning me, but then I prove him wrong, which is what I'm doing right now. Yeah, you, Ollie Mark. And so I don't think you are Ollie Mark. No, I think I've proved you wrong every time. He's saying that. And the comment we got was that we said that Asmongold, as an example, if he singles out Josh, if he focuses on Josh, if he singles Josh out, that's bad because he's very powerful. We'll get onto that later on. We'll get onto the actual main topic of the discussion in a moment. And I'm not going to show you our DMs, Ollie Mark, and I don't think that's a reasonable request. I don't think anyone would show you the DMs. And can I suggest to the mods that if Ollie Mark continues trolling, we time him out for a little bit, because that's just clearly an unreasonable thing to say. And can we notice how like our chat is quite happy about that? So Asmon says that
developers or something for WoW, who make WoW, he's actually punching down. Okay?
When have I ever singled out a developer?
When have I ever singled out a developer? Now, here's the thing. I'm not trying to make Asmon look stupid here. Okay? I'm pointing out things he said about me that were wrong. And when he said this, it's meant that we received lots of messages saying that we made a baseless accusation about him, and that's why we're bad. Now, can we define singling out? Okay, because I'm sure it has lots of connotations. Anyway, here's him talking about law.
If you say thanks for putting it together, and then you add right after that, what you're saying is hyperbolic, which implies that it's wrong and misguided. And then after you say that it's misguided, then you say that this summarizes what the community has been thinking. You're indirectly saying that the community is misguided.
So here is Asmongold singling out Law to talk about his post on the forums, which do you remember that really long post on the forums about Azerite armor? And Dev Law replied to it, and he got a whole load of shit from it. And here is Asmon talking about it and singling Law out. Now, this is important. What Asmongold's saying isn't wrong. Okay? He's giving an opinion. He's giving a very reasonable, informed opinion on what Law wrote. He says that saying something is hyperbolic implies that it's wrong. That's not true. That's not what hyperbolic means. Like, he doesn't understand what that word means. But it doesn't matter. Like, otherwise, he's giving a very reasonable, like, assessment. He's not being mean. He's not being nasty. But he is singling him out. And he is singling him out to discuss his comment and talk about it. And that's what I mean. And this is an important point, because something we touch on later on is that it doesn't matter if Asmon says something nice or something bad. Just singling out someone can often put a target on their head. Law isn't a dev, but I specifically mentioned Law. I specifically mentioned Law as I was talking about it. So you can play your little alt-right semantics game, and you can be like, no, actually, Spock is only half Vulcan, so, But I specifically mention Law when I'm talking it through on multiple occasions. And in our chat and stuff like that, it's often been said, like, you said he talked about Law and he didn't. So, I mean, yeah. And I mean, it's just a fact. Here he is.
Wow. Make wow.
Talking.
Developer.
Oh, sorry. Hang on. Here he is talking about Law and singling him out to discuss his post. Now, I need to make this clear again, because I know some people will get this wrong. I don't think this is wrong or bad. And he's doing a really good job talking about Law's post here. But it's wrong to say that saying he singles people out, and Law in particular, is a baseless accusation, which is one of the things that's been said. Because it's clearly not baseless, because here it is happening in front of your eyes. I mean, I use Law as an example. The definition of game dev isn't important. It doesn't matter. I used Law as an example, and he denied that he'd ever singled him out. And the reason I know this, I didn't go searching through old VODs to find this. I've seen this before, because this is him reacting to one of my videos. That's how I knew it was there. That's how I knew it was right when I said it. Because that's when I watch Asmon, is when he reacts to our videos. Law was the one to write the particular post. Yeah, exactly. And you can't talk about that post without singling him out. So I'm not saying that Asmon is wrong. I'm not saying he's doing the wrong thing here, but he is singling out Law, and to say that he hasn't is wrong.
This is what the...
If I sit here talking about, like, what a twat I think he or versus... Right, good. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, you cuckshill boy, wife beating is the new one. That's a really nice one. Thanks, guys. That's a new one since the Asmongold stream. Apparently my wife beater now. So I feel like at this point, I've made some pretty indisputable facts. I've apologized for the things that I think I've done wrong, and there'll be more of that later, don't worry. But I think I've also... It doesn't matter if he's a public figure. I'm not debating the rights and wrongs of singling out law in this case. I'm just saying it's wrong to say that he never did. Can we get that very... I've made that very clear. The only people debating the semantics of it now are actually just probably being dishonest. So we've established that because, in my opinion, the original video that was ripped from my VOD was quite badly edited, and I don't want to say dishonestly, but didn't give the right impression of what the video was actually about. We've established that this conversation didn't start being about Asmongold. We'll get onto the actual conversation in a moment. We've established that Asmongold, unfortunately, was wrong to say that I'm trying to claim to be a small creator, because I started the entire conversation by saying...
Right now, in the top 5% of people on Twitch. Viewer-wise, that puts me in the top 5% of Twitch.
The fact that I'm a big creator is actually a fundamental part of this conversation and this argument. Yeah, even his own chat spams out Ian and Law. I know. But, you know, whatever. So he was wrong about that. It wasn't his fault, but he was definitely 100% wrong. He was wrong about our DMs never being open, so how could we have got any DMs? Obviously, anyone could have thought that through if they'd spent 5 minutes thinking about it, and that makes me think that Asmongold doesn't want to believe us. Asmongold doesn't want to agree with me, okay? And I think this is quite clear because he's also said that he disagrees with me on mounts in the mount shop, and he doesn't. He always says that he disagrees. He thinks I'm wrong when I talk about mounts on the mount store. He says that in this very VOD. But I agree with him. I hate the mounts in the mount store for the exact same reason that he hates them. Because I think in a sub game that I pay a sub for, everything should be included in that sub, and I shouldn't have to pay for any extra cosmetics. That's exactly word for word Asmon's take, and it's exactly my take as well. We agree on that. We agree on why we hate the mount store. And yet he always says that we don't agree. That's not his take, though. He said it word for word. He's said it word for word. That's definitely his take, and I know that's his take because he's literally reacted to a video where we say it. That is totally his take. I'm gonna take 5 and actually find the video to show you this, because I feel if you think that, there will be other people that think that as well. So I'm gonna take a moment. Sorry, person who's uploading this VOD, because you're gonna have to do a cut job here. If we go to my channel, and if we go here, let me just get the sound off while we skip the ads. Yeah, Nobble, you're gonna have to pause it. I think it's right at the end. Here we go.
Obviously. I think I'm finally done with this game. Like, done. Blizzard are dead to me. They give us a cool and interesting patch and then spit in our faces with a store mount cooler than any mount you can find as an earned reward. Don't buy it, it's a tarp! Another pathetic and embarrassing way to squander the goodwill you earned with the patch. Store mounts are a cancer to the game. Now, that last comment is from Asmongold, and in fairness, he also says something that I completely agree with. When you pay for an expansion and for a sub fee, you shouldn't have to pay for items too.
So whoever said that's not his take, here is Asmon in his own words giving his take, and it's exactly that. Word for word. So, and Asmon knows I agree with this because he's reacted to this video, and he reacted to me saying...
And you know I agree with that because I repeat it literally every time there's a new store mount and we have to cover it on this channel.
So Asmon knows that I agree with him. Asmon knows that I agree with him about store mounts, but he always says that I don't. And I think that's because he doesn't want to agree with us, because he doesn't like us. He doesn't respect us or whatever, and he doesn't want to agree. And I think that's what's happening here, in all honesty. He doesn't want to believe that we could have just closed our DMs because we were getting loads of fucking shit from Asmongold fans there. So yeah, that was something. And I think I've shown that he was wrong to say that he never singles out individual people who work for Blizzard. So there's that. And another very fair criticism we've got is that when it comes to punching down, and I think this is a very fair criticism, when it comes to punching down, he says we make great videos though. Well, he's wrong about that as well. We do it all the time. There's a big... Sorry, I'm getting loads of cool Asmon people messaging me right now. Saying what a cuck I am. Lovely. And some nice ones, but mostly cucks. Great. So I'm hoping, Asmon, if you're watching this live, I don't know if you are, please don't. Please wait for it to be uploaded because you missed the beginning, and the beginning is really, really important. Come back to it, react to it properly. You'll be doing both of us a favour, I promise you. Please. Like, I genuinely beg you. Maybe you won't watch it at all. Who knows? Okay, cool, good, I'm glad. So, maybe you won't watch it at all, and that's fair too, but at least I'm making my point to you. So another very valid criticism we've got, another one which appears again and again in this list of very valid complaints about us, which I think come from the heart and I think mostly are very honest, is that we're hypocrites. Because we are accusing Asmongold and criticising Asmongold for exactly what we do. And a really good example of this is heel versus babyface. Because we haven't always been very subtle in our criticism of heels versus babyface on this stream. You know how I think that... why? You know I don't think he's very honest. But that's whatever. Who cares? So Asmongold does this. Oh, wait, no. That's the wrong thing. Asmongold does this. If I sit here talking about like what a twat I think heel versus babyface is, and you go and harass heel versus babyface...
You literally said shit like that in your fucking videos, man.
So, right away, he hasn't let me finish my sentence, which is a common problem when Asmongold reacts to people's videos. So... he's actually missed the point of the sentence straight away. But we'll get back to the point of the sentence, I guess, later on.
Like, you're doing the exact same fucking thing. Here we go. WoW patch 8.2 arrives with a whimper, not a roar. Like, I'm sorry, but like, is this... Am I taking crazy pills here? And you know what else? I don't think that you're an asshole for doing that either. Do you know why? It's because you're critiquing his perspective on a video game. You're not telling your audience to harass him. You're not saying anything like that. You know, are there going to be people probably in the comment sections that say negative things about them? Yeah, of course they are. Let's see if there's any matches in the comments here. Looks like there's probably not. Yeah.
If that continues to happen, I have to accept that I have some responsibility for that. So, we got to the main point of what I was actually saying after a while. Apart from the fact that he missed the point of the sentence, which was, if I sit here slagging off heels versus babyface, which I don't deny that I do sometimes, and if that results in heel versus babyface getting harassed, then I will have to rethink my position on my criticism of heel versus babyface. Because no criticism is worth someone getting harassed. Do you really honestly, seriously think it's his responsibility to control what his audience does? No. As we will talk about in a little bit. Maybe you could like just stick with the way we're doing this and I'll answer all your questions. Do you honestly think that's what Talia is saying? Oh, okay. So what I'm saying is, in the same position that Asmon is, if I wanted to watch videos on my stream, which I don't because it's not really my deal. No criticism to people who do decide to use other people's content that they've made instead of their own content. No criticism at all. If I did do that and it resulted in heel versus babyface, or not even watching his video, if I just talked about him and it resulted in him getting harassment, I personally would rethink my position And I would think to myself, is it worth someone getting harassed so I can criticize them? And I would certainly come to the conclusion, no, it's not. That's the point of what I'm saying. But Asmongold gets caught up in the fact that we have used a quote of his in one of our videos.
You're an asshole for doing that either. Do you know why? It's because you're critiquing his perspective on a video game.
Now, unfortunately, fortunately for me, in this particular segment he's looking at here, we're not actually critiquing his opinion on a video game. Because what we're doing is just listing reasons why Tally is wrong about 8.2. It's the title of that video. Oh, shit. Hang on.
Either. Do you know harass them? You're not...
Sorry. I think I might have missed it now.
Yeah.
For that.
Okay.
Like, of course creators have responsibility for that. Next time you're going to write something, creators have responsibility. So, I'm really sorry. I've obviously missed that bit of the video. Let me see if I can find it on my YouTube. Because I think this is quite important. I think it's quite important because Asmon doesn't. I think it's quite important to show the context of which I'm using that quote in the video. So here's the weekly reset. Hopefully
on this channel.
It's probably not. No, it's not. Okay. Sorry, I fucked this up. Sorry, person who's editing this VOD. Playing. Sorry, but we're going to get that in there. Skip that ad. See, another thing is, I don't have my ad blocker on, which I think is a good way of reacting to videos. Okay, here we go. So let's look at the lead up to this.
New cinematic and then 3 new strands of gameplay over 2 new continents gave me that overwhelmed feeling that you get from the beginning of an expansion. So it's fair to say 8.2 started with a bang, or dare I say it, a roar. Wouldn't you agree, Internet? WoW Patch 8.2 arrives with a whimper, not a roar. Oh, what is Blizz doing with our sub money? Because it don't appear they're using it to make content. Right, okay.
So, we've used his quote out of context. We've taken his quote out of the context purposely. We've not attached his name to it. We have paired it up with another quote from someone else. So it's not being singled out. We don't refer to the quote specifically at all. We just read it out. Most people wouldn't have known it was his. And the reason we did it was as the joke. Taliesin was wrong, the title of this video. The joke was to try and make Taliesin look like everyone disagreed with him.
No matter how hard they... Oh, look, there it is.
Oh, that's a good joke too.
The patch to be greeted with an awesome new cinematic and then 3 new strands of gameplay over 2 new continents gave me that overwhelmed feeling that you get from the beginning of an expansion. So it's fair to say 8.2 started with a bang, or dare I say it, a roar. Wouldn't you agree, Internet? WoW Patch 8.2 arrives with a whimper, not a roar.
Okay, so and the reason we include this quote is not because it's a heel versus babyface quote. We're not critiquing his opinion on the game. We give no credit on it at all. Opinion on it. We don't critique it, as Asmon says we are. We're literally just laughing at the fact that the word whimper is written in capital letters and the word roar is not. Which I think is a really funny grammatical error. I mean, it's not an error, but for someone who speaks English reading it, that's quite funny. And you'll know when we read it on stream that that's one of the things I found really funny about it. And you can tell by the way I read it here. WoW Patch 8.2 arrives with a whimper, not a roar. That's how I read it here.
Over 2 new continents gave me that overwhelmed feeling that you get from the beginning of an expansion. So it's fair to say 8.2 started with a bang, or dare I say it, a roar. Wouldn't you agree, Internet? WoW Patch 8.2 arrives with a whimper, not a roar.
And like, whether you know it's his quote or not isn't important, because the other thing that means it's not hypocritical in this case is that it's not being singled out. Do you remember how we were just talking about how dangerous it is to single people out when you're a big creator. We're not singling him out. We pair it up
What is Blizz
with
doing
another
with our
quote.
sub money? Because it don't appear they're using it to make content. Right.
So it's not the same. It's not the same thing as singling out someone to talk about them. A, because we don't single them out, and B, because we don't talk about them. We fit none of that criteria. It was a joke is what bullies say to their victims right after they punch them in the face and the victim says, hey. But we're not critiquing him and we're not singling him out. And furthermore, despite the fact that I think that, if that had resulted in heel versus babyface getting harassed and death threats and rape threats, guess what? We wouldn't do that again. No matter how funny I thought it was. And that's the point. That's the point I'm making in this segment. Whoops. That's the point I'm making here. When I say, like, what a twat I think heel versus babyface is, and you go and harass heel versus babyface.
You literally said
As you can
shit
tell,
like
I'm
that
trying
in
to
your
say
fucking
that,
videos,
but then he
man.
pauses
Like,
me in the
you're
middle of the sentence. For that.
Okay. Comments here. Looks like there's probably not.
Responsibility for that. I have to accept that I have some responsibility for that. Because I would. If I put that joke... Now, I judged that me putting that quote in the video was not going to result in heel versus babyface getting shit for it. I made that judgment knowing our audience and the size of our audience, and I decided to put that quote in there anyway, knowing that some people would recognize it, because I didn't think it would result in him getting harassed. If it had done and I had been wrong, I mean, I would stop and I wouldn't do it. Which is something, as we'll see, Asmongold says he won't do. I just to say that I personally think that that not citing your sources isn't a positive either. In this case, it's fine, but how far do you stretch that line? I could say you shouldn't have used any of it if you didn't want to single someone out, but in the end, you made a funny segment to a video. Well, importantly, we didn't single him out. We purposely paired it with another quote in a section which wasn't about critiquing. We didn't say it was right or wrong. We just wanted to make a joke where Taliesin looks silly. Yeah, we did quote him, yeah, we did. Although, we didn't so much quote him, like, if you want to get technical about it, which I don't suggest, but if you did want to, we used his video title rather than a direct quote. You know? But, yes, I would say we quoted him. So, you know. He also said that he's been harassed. Well, in that case, I will never make another heel versus babyface joke again, and I'll never mention him on the stream again. See? That's fucking easy. And I would apologize to heel if that was the case. Like, and genuinely and wholeheartedly. And that's fucking easy. Because why the fuck would I want someone to get harassed? Really easy. Doesn't mean I like him anymore. Doesn't mean I don't think what I think about his videos. But why the fuck would I want... I can quite happily not make an Asmon joke ever again. He could tell the biggest fucking whopper in his videos, and I would not look at it on our stream or on our videos if I thought it was going to make him get harassed. And if he'd been getting harassed when we had done that, I would instantly stop. Instantly. Obviously. And you know what? I like to think that you would do the same. And if heel versus babyface told me that he was getting harassed because of us doing anything on our stream, do you know what I wouldn't say? Prove it. I wouldn't say prove it. I would say, shit, sorry mate, I know that we have our differences, but no, I won't do that anymore. I'm sorry. Are you going to apologize to Mark Kern? No. No, we're not. No, we're not going to apologise to Mark Kern. In fact, if he ever comes our way again, we'll tell him to fuck off again.
Oh, no. What have I joined?
You've joined our... Oh, look, my apology. I mean, the apology was ages ago, really.
Oh, I've been watching for a bit.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I've
What
been,
did you think?
I've been tuning in and out. Yeah, it's good. Oops. It's just... Almost had to apologize.
Don't worry,
for knocking your
there's
coffee
more
over.
there's more apologising later.
Yeah, sorry, I don't want to disrupt you.
And that's why I would recommend, if you're like an Asmon person who's here to like, I don't know, call shit or argue or something like that, what I would really suggest is that you watch a VOD of this later. So you can see it from the start all the way through to the end. Because joining it now, you're not doing yourself justice. And you're not doing the segment any justice.
I think it's good just to kind of put your cards on the table, just kind of say your piece. And yeah, this has been kind of a funny weekend, but these emotes are really cheering me up.
I know, they do me as well.
They do.
I really like it when people use Evertel emotes. Now, see, if you're watching the VOD of this, you can't see this. Because this is another thing about the VOD, which was ripped from our stream and uploaded for money for someone else. You can't see the actual chat. So trust me, guys, there's a whole lot of love for Evertel in this chat.
Pretty good in there. Not gonna lie, it's pretty good.
Oh, wait, ban that fucker. No, I'm joking. By the way, our mods are doing an amazing job today.
I know.
Our new mods, our perfect team of 4, they're awesome. I gotta say.
Thanks, guys.
I don't know how many of them are still here, but they are fucking doing beautiful work.
Yeah.
Really beautiful work.
Anyway, just wanted to say hi. Didn't want to disrupt You've got a flow going on.
I'm really happy we got some mods. We'll get some more as well, because it's a bit unfair to expect those 4 to be online
I know.
whenever I am.
I know.
But,
Which is, I get totally random.
Yeah, totally.
Oh,
Yeah.
well.
So there we go. Anyway, I'll carry on with this, and you can chill out for a bit.
I will.
You can come back in later if you like.
Charge my phone and take a walk, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good
And then I
idea.
might eat a pizza, because I feel like doing things that make me feel good.
Really?
Sorry, I learned that this is a bad hand symbol here. I didn't know that.
What's that? What did you do?
The V?
Is that not a bad hand symbol everywhere?
No, because I think I always thought of it as just an inverse of this, or I thought of it as like kind of a sexy thing. So I didn't mean to give you that. I meant to give you that.
You know where that comes from, don't you? Do you know where that comes from? By myth, which probably isn't true. But what we learned in school.
V-Day?
No, that's V-Day.
That's V-Day.
VE Day.
Yeah.
So that comes from like Henry V's time, like 14th century, I think, is Henry V.
Oh.
Where the English archers were obviously amazing.
Yes, of course.
So when the French captured English archers, I've heard this is just a myth, but I'm going to repeat it anyway, just in case people don't know. So when the French captured the English archers, they cut off these 2 fingers so they can't draw their bow. So when the English captured French people, the English archers would all show the French people their 2 fingers.
Okay.
I've still got my fingers.
I've still got my
French bitch.
Wow, I'm totally going to use that in like Hunter chat.
Yeah,
I'm
seriously.
going to be like, ha ha ha.
Oh wait, there's something I almost forgot.
Oh.
Mark Kern, if you're here, fuck off.
Oh no, don't. Don't.
Sorry, I hate
Do
that
not stir this. It's really funny. I thought you were talking about Mark Kermode for a minute.
No, Mark Kermode.
I love
We love
that
it when
guy.
Mark Kermode is here.
I wish he was here.
We love it when he's here. No, Mark Kermode's brilliant.
He's so nice.
Yeah, he'd be lovely. I wouldn't go like that to him or anything.
No.
You know.
But anyway.
I wouldn't go like that to Mark Kermode. I'd be like,
Yeah, wow.
tell me about your films, Daddy.
Yeah.
And he'd go,
Deconstruct
"Whoa,
that one for me.
I watched Spider-Man Far From Home the other day, and this is what I think." That was actually quite a good impression of Mark
it's
Kermode.
really good. It's really good. I really like him.
We're going to get back to this in just a moment.
Mark
We did see
Kermode
Spider-Man Far From Home the other day.
Oh, we did. It was really good.
I was so right about
It was
everything.
It was so good. I
Yeah.
loved it. I actually really loved it. It was really well done.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Do an American accent. Effie's doing an
me?
American accent right now. She's brilliant at it.
That is
Do-
my accent.
Do your American accent.
That's my accent.
That's not American.
It's so American.
I know.
Well, maybe it's a little bit soft.
I'm not doing it.
I get
Salty
some
Babe.
people who are like, "Are you Irish?" It's like, not as far as I know. Oh
yeah.
man, I can't do a Polish accent. It's really hard. It sucks. I grew up speaking Polish. It's my first language.
Speak some Polish. Speak to the Polish people in the chat.
Cześć. Jak wszystko u ciebie?
What's fuck off?
Jesteśmy na stream.
What's fuck off in Polish?
Kocham cię.
Mark Kern? Kocham cię.
You just told him you love him.
No, you tricked me! You're an evil wife!
I'm really sweaty, sorry.
You're an evil wife! You tricked me into loving Mark Kern, and now I always will.
Well, man.
Damn.
Anyway,
That was amazing.
I'm gonna... Peace.
Move your head out of the shot.
Uh-oh. Aww.
Glad you're home.
Yeah. Just gonna peace for a bit. Probably take a walk. Yeah, like I say, maybe we should eat like a pizza.
I think we should definitely eat pizza. We're almost at the end of this.
Anyway, sorry.
Don't be fooled by the fact we're
keep
not very far
going.
through the video, because we're getting to the main point.
No, this is good.
Okay,
I think
I think
this
this is good
stuff.
too,
And
yeah.
I think it's good that people should be just kind of honest and upfront with each other.
Yeah, I think so. And I think, like, whether Asmon watches this or not, whether people still hate me after this or not, at least I've said what I think needs to be said and tried to clarify.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Hopefully people will appreciate that. Taliesin, I know that you are fixed on Asmongold at the moment, but I have a question. My boyfriend and I are literally broke. We need to leave the country to get any realm money because here where we live, any rent money, I guess. Can you tell me what monthly cost of living in England? Well, I don't know because I don't know where you're from, but I live in London, and if you're broke, you can't afford it. I'm really sorry. I mean, I have lived here when I was broke, but I was lucky because I could, like, you know, I had parents who could pay like a deposit on a flat for me, not to own, but like a month's rent in advance so I could get a job and stuff like that. Yeah, so sorry. But I don't know if someone wants to give some, in the chat while I'm talking now, if someone wants to give some vague rent prices for our friend in like the more reasonable parts of the city. I've got stuff to talk about. Sorry, everyone. Let's carry on with this. So anyway, if it turned out that what we were doing resulted in heel versus babyface getting harassed, we would just stop and we wouldn't ask him for proof. If he said it, we'd just be like, yeah, whatever, mate. Sorry about that, dude. Our bad. And we would apologise and we wouldn't do it ever again. And furthermore, knowing that had happened to him, I would seriously rethink anyone else that we feature on the channel. I would seriously rethink that. If our featuring someone resulted in someone getting... Now, the only reason I feel comfortable talking about heel at all on our channel is because we're very similar in terms of sub numbers. We are bigger, although he is catching up, dude. Those Asmongold reacts are doing him good. And also his witty, amazing takes are doing him good too. A really good example of this, though, is when I first started the channel, I fucking loved... I still do love Kakio. Okay. Now, do you remember Kakio did that amazing video about Warcraft Bible, where Kakio completely exposed Warcraft Bible as being like basically someone who just stole stuff from like magazine articles and made videos out of them. Warcraft Bible, by the way, is now McCool, who is a Flurry McCool or something. Mr. Flurry, he's a Fortnite streamer and YouTuber with literally millions of subscribers. It's fucking crazy. So it worked out for him. Don't need to feel sorry for him. It's all right. But anyway, McCreamy, thank you. Oh my God, McCreamy, thank you. So Kakio did this amazing expose on him, which is genuinely some of the best investigative wow journalism I've ever seen. It was brilliant. The video was amazing. It was beautifully put together. Kakio, my love, my life. What a fucking amazing video. Now, I wouldn't make that video. I used to think, like, if I could make one video, if there's one video that I wish I'd made, it's that one. And he had about 80,000 subs when it all went tits up, I think. If I remember, because he had to cancel it. Like, he literally deleted his channel. Now, if I found that shit out about him, I wouldn't make the video, because we are so much bigger than him that even though he's doing something wrong and bad and needs to be exposed, we wouldn't make that video. We'd probably pass on the information to someone who would. But I wouldn't feel right making that video, because for me, that would be punching down, even though he's doing something really, really bad. And you're quite right. It's also because I ain't no snitch. People would tear him apart. You're absolutely right. Now, as it happens, they tore him apart anyway, but I wouldn't want anything to do with that. I wouldn't want him to be torn apart because a bigger streamer had put a target on him. Kakio was tiny. He had no subs at the time. Like, let's say he had 10,000 subs. It was something like that. Absolutely legitimate for him to make that video. It would have been legitimate for me to make it, but I wouldn't have felt comfortable about it. I wouldn't have felt that him getting torn apart about a video that I'd made, no matter how much he deserved it, I wouldn't have felt comfortable with that. And I would feel the same about any creator smaller than us. You think there aren't hit pieces on us all the time? People forward them to us. The people who make them forward them to us, talking about what idiots we are and how we're wrong with everything. You know? We would never, ever respond to those. Because what the fuck? Why would I? someone calling us out and saying like we're fucking shills or whatever, or that we're wad babies. That's another one that I really love. That's one of my favourite comments at the moment, is that we're wad babies. It's like, well, no. Thanks though. Thanks for playing. I wouldn't respond to those. I don't care. Yeah, they're insulting us. Yeah, I have every right to respond. But I wouldn't. I wouldn't do it. Because they might get harassed by my chat. And I wouldn't want that. Anyway.
Okay.
Like, of course creators have responsibility for that. Oh. So, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, okay, so you've done an apology at the beginning where you apologise to all the people that saw you being a prick on stream, to people who weren't your viewers but just your chat. No, and the reason I'm sorry, people messaged me saying we should drop this, but we definitely will drop this. Like, the reason I want to make sure that we said everything now is so that we never have to come back to this. And we can just go back to having a lovely stream. And the only way you'd be different from Az is if you apologise to Heel on stream. No, because Heel's just made a video about us. We're not going to respond to that. I mean, I know everyone says that Asmon says that he won't react to our videos if we ask him. There is a caveat to that. He says he won't react to our videos unless we talk about him. Which is quite the caveat, and you might think that's perfectly fair. But that's also where I differ from Asmongold, because I'm not going to respond to Heel versus Babyface's video. I'm saying everything that I feel like I need to say here. Whatever Heel has said is his opinion. That's what he thinks. I'd imagine quite a lot of it is wrong, because it's based on the wrong VOD. Like, there was like badly cut, which like missed out some really important parts. So I imagine he probably doesn't take our side. Maybe that's an assumption. Who knows? But I'm not going to respond to it, because it'd be too easy for it to be a real personal thing. So, well, no, you say message Asmon and drop this. I feel like it's important that Asmon said some things which are flat out wrong, okay? And us messaging Asmon wouldn't sort that out. I feel like it's important that you see that he got some of this stuff really wrong. I feel like it's important that these people see that. I feel like it's important that you guys who either like us or don't see that. Like, I'm definitely happy to apologise for everything that I feel like I did wrong, which is a lot, and I'm not trying to get out of that. Remember how long I spent apologising at the beginning? It's genuine. It comes from a real place. But I also think it's important that we see the... you're projecting how Asmon would react if you privately message him. No, I haven't. No, I'm not. I'm just saying that if we did privately message him, people wouldn't know this wrong shit. Even if he was lovely about it and was like, yeah, guys, come around my house for blowjobs and strawberries, people still wouldn't know this stuff, which was wrong. So I'm not projecting anything. I'm saying, you know. No. Asmongold got to react to me without any right of reply in the moment, and I'm doing the same. I'm having my say without any interruptions. That's all. Anyway, so here's one. This was a common criticism as well. You need to calm down. I'm sorry, Taliesin, but you literally brought all this hate upon yourself. You criticise Asmongold while you are doing the exact same thing as Asmongold and his community. Maybe you should take control over your own before commenting on others. And this is another common criticism, which is perfectly fair, because it's the idea that in that VOD, I tell people in my chat to shut the fuck up, and that they're fucking idiots, and that I'm going to ban them, and fuck them. And that's something that Asmongold does all the time. Next time you're going to write something, please, just stop, read it through, think about how dumb it could be, and then just like...
When do we...
This guy, it sounds like he's been watching my stream. Like, maybe this is how he knows how bad I am, is because he's been watching my stream so much, he's doing the same fucking things. So I do this all the time. Like, if I see somebody write something stupid, I'll go ahead, I'll open up their logs, I'll look at their logs in my channel, I'll see what their logs are in Greek God X's channel. Oh, what did you see in Soda Poppin's channel last year in March? Wow, you're so fucking stupid. Oh my god, you spam Pepega's and XQC's chat every single day? Oh my god. And I do this all the time. Like, he's doing the same fucking things.
It makes me really laugh when people are trying to, like, kind of sort of second guess what I'm going to say about it after it's finished, because you're always wrong. So this is the thing, right? How can I criticize Asmon for saying shit like this?
I'll go ahead, I'll open up their logs, I'll look at their logs in my...
When I say stuff like this. Oh. Read it through, think about how dumb it could be, and then just like...
When do we...
This guy...
How can I criticize him for that? I can't. And I don't. Because that's not what we're talking about. I don't criticize him for this. In this VOD, I don't criticize him for swearing at his chat or telling them that they're idiots. I don't criticize him for it. I'm not a hypocrite because I'm swearing at my chat, and that's what Asmon does, because I don't criticize Asmongold for that. Now, I'm not trying to... Yeah, he is strawmanning the fuck out of me. I'm not trying to say that it's okay that I talk to my chat like that, because as we've established, the initial apology, I don't think it was okay. I got totally trolled. I got totally baited. I'm a fucking idiot. Okay, so I'm shit at Twitch streaming. I'm terrible at memes. People in my chat will know. Okay, do you remember that meme that people would put in chat where it was like, hey, Tally, it's me, like whatever it was, Chad from school. I've got a lovely car, an amazing wife. You're always the really shit guy in school. Ha ha ha. Or however it goes. Taliesin disagrees with you, but he hasn't seen what I've got to say. I mean, the thing is, like, Taliesin might disagree with me, Tinkertoon, but I mean, as we've already established, a lot of what Asmon has said is not subjectively false, but objectively false. Now, you can like him more than me, that's absolutely fine, but please don't say that he hasn't said really wrong stuff in this analysis of my VOD, which was illegally ripped for money. A lot of people aren't going to see what you say. No, I know, but that doesn't make it any less right. So, I mean, you know, I'm hoping someone will put this out there in some way. So yeah, I don't criticize.
It sounds like he's been watching my stream.
So it's not hypocritical that I also do it.
Like,
as well.
maybe
Although
this is how he knows how bad I am.
Very, very
it's because
much.
he's been watching my stream so much. Oh my god, you spit.
When he talks about, okay,
like he's doing.
So if we're not talking about that, what are we talking about? And this is the entire point of the conversation. As you remember, all those many hours ago when we started talking about it, we are talking about, and I'd like you to imagine this as the headline of this entire conversation that started talking about Method Josh and is now here. We asked, what is a streamer's responsibility as their chat and their audience gets bigger? Because generally it's accepted, and it's not a controversial thing to say, that the more power and influence you have, the greater your responsibility to use that responsibly. I don't think that is I don't think that's a controversial statement. You wouldn't have thought. So I've thought about it a lot, and I formulated it during this VOD, and I said a lot of things that I wouldn't put in like an analysis video about it or in a conversation about it, because stupidly, naively, idiotically, I didn't think the VOD would get ripped and uploaded for money out of context like that. Where I'm responding more to like the people that are annoying me in chat like a fucking idiot, like I am, than actually formulating my proper thoughts. It wasn't meant to be a coherent argument. I'm trying to present that coherent argument here. And my belief is that, because a big criticism that people have given is that you can't, and we've seen it quite a lot in this chat as well, you can't expect a creator to control their audience beyond the realms of their Twitch stream. And I agree with that. I agree with that. You can't possibly control your audience beyond the realms of your stream or your environment. I absolutely agree with that. And I think it's precisely because of that that you need to be more careful the larger your audience gets. Because as has been completely set out and said in lots of criticism about us and in lots of tweets to us and lots of everything, you can't possibly control your audience. And 1% of every audience is always going to be absolute vile pieces of shit. That is correct. And you can't control them. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. So this is where audience size is an important part of this discussion. Because 1% of... Asmongold has 900,000 followers on Twitch. Can we... Like, I can't even imagine... my brain doesn't even comprehend that. He's got 900,000 followers. We've got 30,000. Let's say 35, just so no one can be... We've got 36 now because all the Asmon people wanted to get in. Like, that's ludicrously high. If you're going by viewer numbers, which Twitch do, let's say he gets 25,000 viewers per stream compared to our 1, usually. Like, we are not... Despite the fact we have a big YouTube channel... His YouTube channel, despite the fact that it's completely dormant, is still bigger than ours, by the way, and at over 300,000 subs is literally classed in a different category to ours under YouTube like classifications. Like we are, I know this because Evie like learnt about it at work when a YouTube person came in. Anything under 300,000 are like between 100 and 300,000 is apparently micro celebrities. We are officially micro celebrities, fam. That's a fact. And anything over that is a completely different section. So even his YouTube is much, much bigger than ours, but there is nowhere where we have a reach of 900,000 followers. Like, we are in different leagues. So when people talk about us as in we are like equals in some way, we're really not. And that's not me saying that, oh, we're the small streamer, because you know I don't think that. And just in case you're fresh here, I just want to play this again because you wouldn't have seen it in the VOD, which was, I think, dishonestly cut, but whatever.
That puts me, right now, in the top 5% of people on Twitch.
I'm in the top 5% of people on Twitch. That's what I said when I started this conversation. The conversation is based on the fact that I am a really big creator. And yet, compared to Asmongold, we are tiny. His live audience is 30 times the size of ours. 25 times the size of ours, let's say. The equivalent, someone 25 times smaller than us, is like under 100 viewers. If we came along and like acted towards someone with 2,500 viewers as if we were equals, and I was like, don't give it all that small creator shit, man, we're equals. You'd see right through that. You'd be like, bullshit. Bullshit. That makes no sense at all. It's about how you use it. See you in a bit. And that's literally the comparison. Yeah, we're a big streamer. We never said we weren't. We started the conversation by saying we are big creators. We're very lucky. But Asmon dwarfs us completely. And that's important. Because whether you're punching up or punching down or punching back, Asmon, the size of the fist and the size of the person you're punching is important. Punching back isn't always okay. You wouldn't punch back someone much, much smaller than you. Stop punching down. Who am I punching down to, Lord Tucker? I mean, you are a blatant troll, Lord Tucker. You've been in here for the last couple of days. And like you clearly, like purposely don't take anything we say on board. Yes, Lord Tucker, people recognise that name. You did miss a lot of stuff, Angel Cloth. I'd recommend you watch the VOD. Who are we punching down on right now, Lord Tucker? No? Yeah, I'd block him, to be honest. I think he's a troll. Yeah, I'd block him. Now, if you're watching the VOD of this, you can't see the chat, but like everyone in my chat is telling me to block him. So please don't be like, oh my god, you block people who disagree with you. No, he was causing shit in chat. People wanted us to block him. Taliesin, no they aren't. Yeah, kick him, ban. The famous Lord Tucker, block him. Oh, okay, you don't want to block him? Don't block him, I don't care. I don't know, man. Okay, well, don't block him then, I don't care. But people are telling me to block him, Callie. Lots of people. Maybe watch the VOD of this on our channel and you'll be able to see for yourself and make up your own mind. Interesting take. So my argument is that it's precisely because you can't control your chat. So when Asmongold says, oh, it's ridiculous that he expects me to control, I shouldn't be expected to be able to control my fan base and my viewers. I agree. Now, I don't think he's straw-manning me there because I don't think I made that clear in the VOD that I didn't know was going to get shown. And I argued that fucking terribly. Like, really badly, because I wasn't even arguing. I was just trying to formulate my thoughts. But I did not make that clear at all. And that was a massive failing on my part. And so I don't think Asmon is straw-manning me here. I think he's saying, like, why should I be held accountable for my chat? How can I be expected to control my chat? And the answer is, you can't. And that's exactly why you need to be careful as your audience gets bigger. Because, like, if you've got one dog on the end of a chain, okay, you can probably keep it under control and you can probably take it places. If you've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 dogs on the end of a chain, it's much harder to control, and you'd probably think, I don't think I'm going to take these dogs to the children's play area. You can't possibly be expected to control them, so you make that decision. I'm not going to point these dogs at the children's play area. It's a terrible analogy. Asmon, I'm sorry. It's a really bad analogy. But I feel like that's exactly why you want to be careful about singling people out. Because you can't control them. So if you single someone out, like Law, which we've seen has happened, the bigger your audience is, the more of that audience are going to disregard what you've asked them to do and are going to hassle that person. If you watch our videos on your stream, the bigger your audience is... We back? We're back? Oh, here we are! Okay, I'm really sorry about that. Yeah, sometimes our internet cuts out because Virgin Media. Yeah, we're back. So, and this is the thing. Like, yeah, no one is saying that it's a creator's fault necessarily if that 1% goes rogue and like sends people fucking rape or death threats, which has happened to us. Like, Asmon wrote a very clever tweet. Like, you know, and a very fair tweet. Where, you know, because he doesn't believe that we're getting shit or whatever, because he, like, genuinely doesn't, he, you know, and we were, because we were asked to, we shared some examples of, like, the shit we were getting on our Twitch, just to show that we were getting it, because he didn't believe we were getting it. And then he was like, oh man, if I thought a content creator was responsible for every negative comment I received, I'd be having a field day with this tweet. Asmon deserves a bullet, which is clearly fucking horrible. And, like, yes, I agree with you, Zach. Like, you can't control that 1%, which is exactly why you have to be careful at where you point it. Now, you're right that kind of shit is going to happen, and it's fucking horrible when it does, and there's no excuse for it. Yeah, it is really disgusting. And the bigger the audience is, the more dangerous it is. Because, like we've already established, our audience, let's take our biggest audience number of 260,000 for our YouTube subs against his biggest, which is 900,000. And let's very kindly say that's 3 times bigger. We're rounding it down quite heavily there. That's still 3 times as many. So that 1% of his audience is 3 times bigger than that 1% of our audience. Now, that doesn't make it any better, but it does make it less. So I would try and avoid this happening to Zach in any way. I feel like it's important to say this stuff, but I would try and avoid that happening to Zach in any way. And I can't control that 1%, just like he can't control that 1%. But it's precisely because I can't control that 1% that I'm going to be very careful in our videos not to single people out. Because I know we have a big audience. It's not as big as Asmon's. And I think that the bigger it gets, I think it grows exponentially. I think it becomes more than 1% the bigger the audience gets. Personally. That's completely anecdotal. I have no proof of that. So it's precise, and I agree with Asmongold on this. And I didn't eloquate this well in our video at all. So I'm sorry to him, and I'm sorry to you that I didn't do that. Our video, it wasn't our fucking video, it was me talking in stream. But I agree, you can't control that 1%. But that's exactly why you should be careful. Because wherever you point that 100%, 1% of it could go really fucking rogue. And if you point it at vulnerable people, which we're not, and we're not claiming to be, although Evertel is a woman, and as we've seen, that like invites a whole beautiful new level of fucking disgusting abuse. If you aim it at vulnerable people, or people that you are much more powerful than, that 1% is going to go rogue on their fucking ass. And the bigger your audience is, the worse that is going to be for them. So it's categorically not the same if we do it. It's still shit. It's still bad. We still shouldn't do it, in my opinion. Which is why we would never react to heel versus babyface videos on here. Like, in live time. Shutting them down. Pausing them so he can't make his point. But our 1% is not as big as his 1%. His 1% is a whole fuck ton more people than our 1%. And that's why he's got one comment that he can share on Twitter. And we've got quite a few more. Punch up, punch down, punch back. But the size of the fist is the question here. You wouldn't punch a fucking old lady, no matter what they said to you. You wouldn't punch a kid, no matter what they said to you, because you realise that you're much bigger and more powerful than those people. And you realise that it doesn't matter if they punched you first. Punching them back is absolutely fucking ridiculous because of the power differentiation. Yeah, that old lady gonna get lit up. I fucked it up. I fucked up the cool thing that you said. I'm so bad at streaming. I don't know, some kids are kind of annoying. We can't have that. Not having no kid beating in my stream. If you can't control the 1%, giving them a target is a bad idea. Yeah, exactly. Asmongold is completely right when he says he can't control the 1% and he shouldn't be expected to control the 1%. And I 100% agree with him on that. Too many percents. I totally agree with him on that. My point is, it's because of that you have to be really careful. And that's the responsibility that I think big streamers with big audiences have. Man, you need to stop this. It's not fun. I think you need to check the title of this stream. It's never fun. It's never fun. It's not meant to be. I'd be really pissed off if you thought it was. Yeah, you must be new here. And that's what I think. Now, obviously later on it did go. So there's a lot of more video here which we won't watch. There's a lot more video here of Asmon saying that he refuses to accept responsibility for if someone attacks him, he'll attack them back and stuff like that. But I think you get the idea. That's his opinion. My opinion is that I agree with him that you can't control the 1% of your chat, nor should you be expected to. But that's why you have to be careful. And that's the responsibility that I would place on someone with a big audience. And I think maybe that's something that's missing from the world in general at the moment, not just from Twitch. And I think it's an important question I think it's a question that's going to become more and more important. This job didn't exist a few years ago. Simple as that. Like, e-celebrity and streaming and all of this shit, it's completely new. I know that a lot of you will take that on board. I know that a lot of you will not. Personally, I think it's a pretty sound argument. It's certainly my opinion. The stuff I don't think you can argue with is the stuff that Asmon said that was objectively wrong, like saying that we were pretending to be a small stream, like saying that we couldn't have been receiving DMs, like saying that he'd never singled out. He kind of wouldn't say law, but it's what we said. Never singled out someone who were okay. Maybe that's a grey one. Maybe that's a bad example. But I think it's wrong to say that those were baseless accusations. And I think it's wrong to say that when we put an uncredited quote of heel versus babyface in one of our videos with other quotes that we're doing the exact same thing. Partly because I don't think that's what we're doing anyway, but mostly because that's not the point we were making when he did this bit. We were saying that if it turned out heel versus babyface did get harassed from that, then we would stop and we would seriously reconsider our position on it. That's the point we were making. Not that this is okay, but that we would stop if it turned out not to be. So I feel like that's important. I feel like it's important to reiterate again, because it's easy to get caught up in all this stuff, but I feel like it's important to reiterate again that I cringed my fucking ass off watching that stream back. You know? And I know that it is true that we were trying to formulate ideas and have a conversation. It wasn't meant to be an argument that was presented. When I watched it back, I cringed my fucking ass off, even knowing that there were trolls baiting me in the chat. That's a reason why it happened. It's not an excuse. I feel like a twat. I am not a good streamer. Hopefully I'll become much better. And hopefully, like, I will be able to, like, not get fucking baited by people in the chat. That's a really good comment from our mod there. I'm an Asmon fan myself, so anyone being a proper shithead is someone I have an interest in. But criticism for people, ideas, and sound arguments are not the same. If someone's calling you a twat, then yeah, that's something different. But if they're debating ideas, then that's not a personal attack. I agree. So one thing that really concerns me is that, you know, Asmon will say this is people here in our YouTube. This is people debate, like, they just don't like our ideas. They just think I'm a twat. But the fact is, and they're right, I am a twat. But the fact is, the things they are saying that they think I'm a twat for sometimes are spot on. And sometimes they are repeating things that Asmon said, which we've established is not true. And that makes me sad. Because I feel like, in that case, when these comments here are filling up the comments of a completely unrelated video, and when we are getting vote bombed, and I don't mind, it's not as bad as I thought it might be. I feel like actually he did send them here by telling them untruths. Not on purpose, but yeah. And that concludes my argument. I would like to say once again how sorry I am to people that were disappointed in the way I spoke to my chat. So am I. I would like to say sorry again to Asmongold for talking about it on stream at all in that kind of way, and being stupid enough to think that he wouldn't see it while we formulated that idea, and it appearing to him like we were talking specifically about him, and me being stupid enough to do that. And using hypotheticals, because we were using him as an example because he's the biggest WoW streamer and creator by miles, but the biggest audience by fucking miles. So he's the obvious example of someone with a big audience. And I'm sorry if I got caught up in talking about him specifically and making it sound like I was accusing him of stuff. I regret that. I take it back. I hope I've made myself clear here in the hours that we've been doing this. Good luck whoever's putting this fucking VOD together. If anyone does, maybe no one will ever see it. Yeah. And now we can play some fucking WoW, son. So now all of those people who came over to see that can leave. Thank you. It's been lovely. It's been, fucking horrible having this many people in the chat watching this channel. I'd hate to have to go to sub mode every time we did this. I could just leave up Idris, couldn't I? But yeah, I hope you think that was fair. I hope you think that was considered. I hope you at least try and see my point of view on it. And I hope you accept my apology.